besides neurofeedback, what are some basic behaviors for good brain health?
Yeah, so definitely keeping it active. And we've got to think about keeping it active in two ways. So it's not only the logical thinking, the things that we could do like maths, if we haven't done maths for a long time, or playing Sudoku, or things that really challenge us from a logical perspective, logical thinking, scientific reasoning. Those are really good ways for us to elevate our level of thinking and logical deduction and reasoning, which is really cool. But the other side that a lot of us always forget about is our creativity and our ability to play and our enthusiasm in life. And that's all a little bit more right hemispheric, but things like art appreciation, music, how much am I involved in that? How much do I actually appreciate these things? And not only does my brain process them on a subconscious level, how aware am I of my talent in that area? And my ability to play and enjoy things again and be creative. And when people engage in both those things, they tend to have a higher level of enjoyment and fulfillment in life. So it's not just about taking a holiday once a year. It's about how do I actively, at some point every single week, engage in both of those practices. So, Sudoku, do a puzzle, build something that requires you to move information around from a logical perspective. Or, as we said, reasoning and deductive perspective. That's really important. Reading is profoundly important. So somebody said, "Oh, but you don't know how many emails I read," and absolutely, it's true. We do. So if you spend half your life reading emails and WhatsApp, get better at it.
Anymore. Okay.
Yeah, but get better at it. If I'm going to spend exactly. So Jim Quick always says, he's marvelous, but he always says, we spend half of our day essentially, and they've done lots of studies on this, quite interesting, of corporate America, and they say that they spend a lot of their time reading, so just get better at it. So it's less time.
It's something called, I think, the CEO challenge, which is like a book a week. It's
and of course people learn to circumvent that quickly. YouTube is on it. But the whole point about it is, what am I getting that elevates my thinking? And if you can engage in that in once a week only, it really tends to increase our satisfaction in life. And we know stuff, so you go to a party and you say, well, I read a book on becoming a violinist, and people say, oh, do you play? No, I never want to in my life, but I read a book on it, so it makes us feel like we have that we're more colourful,
richer,
richer. Thank you, beautiful word. See, you better at words than I am. But anyway, so really, I'm going to work on that part of my brain. So that's really important for us. But then I think a lot of the time as adults we forget about play. And we forget about creativity, and we forget about our ability to build and imagine and move things around.
And like you were saying, it's that holistic brain health that's really interesting.
Exactly. So I have a lot of people that have gone back into the Rubik's Cube. So one person got it really quickly. They did YouTube it, but they got it really quickly. And then so I said, okay, so what's the next challenge? And he said, I'm going to do it with one hand. So it was really a one. But that's the thing that also makes us feel good, makes us feel happy. A lot of people do it with art, baking, cooking, anything that gets us involved in this beautiful time that you don't want to do anything else. You just want to be fully engaged. And certainly writing does engage that. But when we get a fright or when we're worried about things, we tend to shut down and become quite regressive. The reptilian brain becomes a little bit more present and alive, in which we only think about fight, flight, and the freeze in between. And then it's difficult for us to enjoy anything, actually. So, whatever people say to us in that moment is probably not really sinking in, so not really useful information for us. And that's one of the fundamental things that neurofeedback helps. It helps us be calmer in order to understand and assess our environment. But as we were saying, play and creativity is important. So anything that you want to do for you that enhances that, whether it's building a puzzle or, I don't know, going to a makeup person and learning how to do makeup, or whatever it is that's creative.
There's so many opportunities for creativity nowadays, and someone was moaning about their kid making videos for TikTok. I said, I know it's not what we've conceptualized as creativity before. It's still incredibly creative. It's
exactly
an incredible content platform.
Yeah, and I think that's also really the main point, Georgie. It has to be something for you.
But it's nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
But if we want to do, if we want to really excel and do well in life, not only from a performance and a competitive performance in riding, it's very useful for us to have this balance. And people call it work-life balance. You can call it many, many other things. But for you, what are you engaging in that really fulfills you, that really makes you feel purposeful?
There's a lovely thing that says if you're feeling tired, it's not because you've done too much, it's because you've done too little of what really stimulates you.
Excites
So
you and makes you
lovely.
happy. Yeah.